So good evening all. I'm Dr. Kuldeep on behalf of Lloyd Healthcare. I welcome you all. I welcome all healthcare practitioners for this Lloyd Journal Club program. I welcome Dr. Rakesh Sahay sir as a faculty for this program. I welcome Dr. Amit Gupta sir as a faculty for this program. This is the scientific initiative taken by Lloyd Healthcare, and objective of this initiative to disseminate scientific information as well as having the discussion on latest topic from NEJM and Lancet kind of journals, and also it provides the platform to discuss and get clarify the queries on topic related to diabetes management for the HCPs, and also it will give the forum to discuss and get clarify the clinical obstacles and queries for the HCPs. With this, I'll introduce the faculty with the help of PPT. So today we have two eminent faculties with us. One is Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sai with us, as he is MDDM and he is a professor of endocrinology at Osmania Medical College since 2009, and he is holding many positions at different societies and bodies as president at South Asian Federation Endocrine Society 2020-25, president at Diabetes in Pregnancy Study Group India DIPSI 2024, and also he is a president at RSSDI 24-25, president at Endocrine Society of India 2021 and 22. He's been recognized with different awards with his contribution to the medical fraternity, especially in diabetic segment. He has been awarded as a best teacher in medicine award from Government of Telangana for 2018, Fellowship of National Academy of Medicine Sciences 2021, Fellowship of American College of Endocrinology in 2009, and Fellowship of RSSDI 2015, and many rewards been received by Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sai sir, and over 200 publications in various national and international journals been seen by Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sai. So again, I welcome Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sai for the Lloyd Journal Club program. And Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sai today will discuss on topic incretin and the cardiovascular system, bridging digestion with metabolism, which has been adapted from Lancet journal. Then we have second faculty, that is Dr. Amit Gupta sir. He is MBBS DNB in general medicine, MSc in diabetes, and he is a director center for the diabetes care Greater Noida. He is adjunct professor Department of Medicine KMC in Manipal. He is holding as a chair IDF School of Diabetes. He is a chairperson elected as American Diabetes Association IDA, and as well as honorary secretary at International Advisory Board IDA, and many awards and rewards been received by Dr. Amit Gupta, and he has more than 75 national and international publications been published by under Dr. Amit Gupta. So I again welcome Dr. Amit Gupta as a faculty for this program. With this, I request Mr. Vasan Kansekte, General Manager of Lloyd Healthcare, to take us through presentation of Lloyd Healthcare.
A warm welcome to all the SAPs for the Lloyd Healthcare presentation, which I'm showing to you as a corporate. Coming to Lloyd Healthcare, we are synergizing values since 2012. The inception of this particular organization, which is called as Lloyd Healthcare, is in the year of 2012. So what exactly we are as a Lloyd Healthcare? We are just taking you through that quickly. We are actually a top 24th cardio-diabetic company. Currently, our position is 24th rank. We have almost 12 years of experience in the cardio-diabetic segment, and slowly we are expanding ourselves into the nephro, ortho, and gynec. I think these segments are quickly coming up. We are already present in ortho, but right now we are also spreading our wings into nephro plus gynec. We have been coming up. Even gastro segment also we have been expanding in that particular segment. Coming back, we are right now 450 crore company, which is valued as per the IMS and as per AVAX data. Almost 2,000 employees are working across India, and we have all India reach in terms of medication supporting to the patients also and to the SCPs also. Coming back, we provide a quality of work plus quality medications. So we have got recognition awards from the industry. The most important award, what we got it from Outlook Business as a Business Excellence Award in the year of 2023 as a Company of the Year. This is a prestigious award in a short span of time that Lloyd Healthcare has been got rewarded by Outlook of Business. Coming back to the multiple awards, I think Lloyd Healthcare has been won a lot of awards. Most important is Healthcare Excellence Award in the year of 2020 as the fastest growing company in cardiac segment with the quality medication what we are providing to the patients and to the SCPs. Also in the year of 2021, again we have been won a prestigious award from SIMS as a promising diabetic company of the year. In the year of 2021, also there are different mega brands we have been built up in the segment of cardio-diabetic. So for the Vildare also we got an excellence award. Plus, we in the year of 2022, as a pharma company, Great Work Environment Award we got from SIMS. So the award is continues for the organization, which is of 12 years currently right now running up. Coming back to the next, I think if I talk about us, our work has been recognized by the International Book of Honor. So we got an International Book of Honor from England as in Lloyd Healthcare as an emerging company of the year. So in a short span of time, we have been able to get such a reward and recognition with the help of SAPs who are actually looking towards us and supporting Lloyd Healthcare. So we are believing providing quality medications. So we have a team who is ensuring that quality. So more than 20,000 specialties across India has been using the products of Lloyd Healthcare. We have been trusted more than 1.5 crore patients are taking the medications of Lloyd Healthcare. So we actually gives a lot of priority and importance to the medications providing to the patients via SCPs. Coming back to the next, I think if you talk about it, there are multiple institutions has trusted Lloyd Healthcare. We are having the medications entered and many doctors are writing into these institutions which have been highlighted here. Manipal, Narayana, Care Hospitals, Kaveri Hospitals, Yashoda Hospitals from Hyderabad. I think we have got the products here. Apollo Chain also we have been having it and the medications are getting supplied to the patients. So that's what the reach Lloyd Healthcare has been gotten within 11 years of time. More than 120,000 chemists has been having our product across India. So there is no question in terms of availability of products from Lloyd Healthcare. More than 1,000 stockists has been catering by the Lloyd Healthcare. And the online chain, which is commercialization coming up, we have been present across all top online commercial channels like Tata 1mg, Apollo, MedPlus, Pharma AZ. So everywhere the products have been available, patient can take it that quality medication from Lloyd Healthcare. So this is just a small briefing about Lloyd Healthcare. I thought about to give it to all the SCPs before going into the actual agenda. So right now, I think without wasting much time, I'm inviting Dr. Amit Gupta for this presentation on the topic, which is as mentioned in the agenda. So over to Dr. Amit Gupta. Can IDDM have his video?
So Amit, sir, topic is
Hello everyone.
weekly fixed dose insulin, Efsitora in type 2 diabetes without previous insulin therapy.
I'm here in front of you today for this very novel initiative where we are going to talk about two landmark publications which have come recently, and we would like to break down this research into simple takeaway messages for you. So today I'm going to talk about the weekly fixed dose insulin Efsitora in people with type 2 diabetes, those who have not received previous insulin therapy. And this is a major publication and it was published and the results were presented during the ADA conference. To introduce the topic, we know that insulin Efsitora alpha is a basal insulin, long-acting insulin. It has a flat pharmacokinetic profile. It has a long half-life, which allows for once weekly administration. The twin trials are the trials associated with this insulin, that is the Efsitora. And the Quint phase 3 program, which evaluated Efsitora as compared with once daily insulin decode or insulin glargine across a range of patients with diabetes. And the Quint 2 trial with adults with type 2 diabetes, who were not receiving any kind of insulin previously, they were given once weekly Efsitora, and this was administered in a standard flexible dosing regime. They showed improvement in the glycemic control and the rates of the clinically meaningful hypoglycemia that were similar to those with the Degludec. Rationale of the study: to investigate the efficacy and the safety of once weekly Efsitora in a straightforward fixed dose regimen, administered with the use of auto-injectors containing a single fixed dose in comparison with once daily glargine in a flexible dosing regime, but in combination with non-insulin glucose-lowering agents. So in people with type 2 diabetes who had not previously received insulin. So the rationale was that there are two arms. One arm will receive the Efsitora and the other arm will receive the Degludec, and Both the arms, they were on the non-insulin therapy before they were insulin naive patients. The design of the trial is very, very important, and the phase 3 open label treat to target randomized control trial. It was conducted at 71 sites in Argentina, Mexico, and the United States. The trial comprised a 3-week screening and a lead-in period of 52-week treatment before the therapy and a 5-week safety follow-up period after the therapy. The protocol was approved by the IRB at each site, and it is still available with the statistical analysis plan at the NEJM.org. All the patients, they provided written informed consent, and the trial was supported by the Eli Lilly. Number of participants, 795 adults with type 2 diabetes, more than 18 years of age, with an HbA1c of 7 to 10% and a BMI of less than 45, on stable non-insulin therapy, and they were insulin naive. The mean age of participants in the trial was around 56 years, and the mean duration of the diabetes was around 9 years. The body mass index 45 or lower were eligible, so those with BMI above 45, they were excluded. If you look at the intervention, the Efsitora once weekly fixed doses in the dose of 100 to 400 units was given, and the dose escalation was done every 4 weeks, which is based on the fasting glucose levels. And the insulin was administered via pre-filled auto injectors. If you look at the comparator, insulin glargine U100 starting dose 10 units per day and adjusted weekly using traditional algorithm. What was the procedure? So participants, they were randomly assigned in a 1:1 ratio with the use of an interactive web response system to receive Efsitora or the glargine. Randomization was again stratified according to the country, glycated HbA1c level less than 8% or more than 8%, and the use of the glucagon-like peptide receptor agonist. The participants, they continued treatment with stable dose of the non-insulin glucose lowering agents during the lead-in treatment periods, although dose adjustments were allowed for safety or because of the risk of hypoglycemia. If you look at the endpoints, the primary endpoints was change in HbA1c from baseline to week 52. Non-inferiority margin 0.4%. Superiority also tested. This was the hierarchical design. Secondary endpoints, the fasting blood glucose, self-monitored insulin dose at 52 weeks, patient-reported outcomes, that is a TRIM-D score, and the hypoglycemia incidence and rates and the body weight changes. Now let us look at the results. So if you look at the results, the HbA1c reduction with the Efsitora and the glargine, they are very, very comparable. So with Efsitora, it was 1.19% at week 52, and with glargine, it was 1.16%. If you look at the difference between the Efsitora and the glargine arm, it is only 0.03%. So the conclusion is that the Efsitora is non-inferior but neither superior to the once daily glargine. If you look at the estimated percentage of the participants reaching a glycated HbA1c of less than 7% at week 52, it was 57% in the Efsitora group and 52% in the glargine group. Here you can see the HbA1c less than 7%, 57% with the Efsitora and 52% with the glargine arm. And again, if you look at the without nocturnal clinically significant or severe hypoglycemia, almost comparable results, 55 and 49, but less than 7% without clinically significant or severe hypoglycemia. This was significantly better with the Efsitora arm. If you look at the fasting blood glucose levels, the baseline fasting blood plasma glucose levels were 182 in both the groups, and at week 52, the Efsitora arm had a glucose levels of 127.7 milligram per deciliter on an average, and glargine is 126.7. So essentially almost identical reduction. So there is no difference in terms of the fasting blood glucose reductions. Look at the insulin dose. This is interesting. If you look at the insulin dose, what was the mean weekly dose at the week 52? So the Efsitora arm was taking a dose of almost 289 units, that is 41.3 units per day, while the glargine arm was on a dose of 333 units and 47.5 units per day. So you can say that the glargine arm required 44 units of insulin more in a week in comparison to the Efsitora arm. The hypoglycemia is again very, very important. If you look at the clinically significant or the severe hypoglycemia, otherwise, if you look at the overall hypoglycemia episodes, you will find there is not much difference. Clinically significant hypoglycemia, but is statistically different here because it is 0.5 events per patient year with the Efsitora, while it is 0.88 events per patient year with the Glargine arm. So the rate ratio of 0.57%, 0.57 means there is a lower risk of clinically significant hypoglycemia was observed in the Efsitora arm. If you look at the patient reported outcome, obviously one arm was receiving insulin daily while the other was receiving insulin once a week. So TRIM-D total score improvement in the Efsitora arm was 15.4, while in the Glargine it was 13.9. The difference between the group is 1.56, and the fewer dose adjustments, the median dose adjustment, 2 doses adjustments were required with the Efsitora arm, while 8 doses adjustment were required with the Glargine arm. So these were the findings from the patient reported outcomes. If you look at the safety and the adverse events 60% versus 65% with the Efsitora and the Glargine arm. If you look at the serious adverse effects, 6.5% versus 5.3%. There were 3 deaths in each group, but they were not related to the drugs. And the weight gain with the Efsitora arm was 3.9 kg and the Glargine arm was 3.3 kg. So I would like to conclude by saying that only weekly fixed dose Efsitora, once weekly dose with the Efsitora, was non-inferior to the daily dose of the Glargine for HbA1c reduction. Lower hypoglycemic rates were seen with the Efsitora. Lower insulin requirement was seen with once weekly Efsitora. Fewer dose adjustments were required. Reduced injection burden was reported, and the promising option to overcome therapeutic inertia in type 2 diabetes. So with this, I would like to thank everyone for your patience listening, and I would be happy to take any question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think Dr. Amit Gupta has delivered a wonderful presentation on the topic. I think without much of time, I think questions has been coming up. We will take the questions on the last part. And before that, I think I'm requesting Dr. Rakesh Sahay, please take his topic ahead. Over to you, Rakesh, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all who are present in this meeting today. So, good evening to all of you, and thanks to Lloyd Healthcare for organizing this wonderful program where we are discussing about some of the newer publications or newer work that is being done and published in major journals, and that is being brought to you today. And Dr. Amit has done a wonderful job in telling us about the data on Efsitora, which is a very new and promising insulin, which is going to make people with diabetes who require insulin, they're going to be much more happier taking insulin once in a week rather than injecting themselves every day. So with that, now what I will do is I've been assigned the topic about incretins and cardiovascular system, bridging digestion with metabolism. So this is a very interesting area, which is known to us for the last maybe 2 decades that we have been using these incretin-based therapies. And so this is based on an article by Avogaro and Fadini, who have published this in Lancet Diabetes Endocrinology in this year. And I will give you a summary of what has been presented in this article, where they have discussed an overview about the incretin system, how they have a significant effect on the cardiovascular system, and how they bring about a bridge between digestion and metabolism. So if you look at the incretins, basically incretins are hormones which are secreted from the GI tract, and they are endogenously secreted hormones which are secreted in response to glucose, which are secreted in response to meal intake, and they have different effects, and they have effects on different systems. That is metabolism. They have effects on metabolism by increasing the insulin secretion in a glucose dependent fashion. Apart from that, they tend to have several other effects, and those are in terms of vasodilation and mild inotropic effects, and they probably link the digestion to metabolism by enhancing the nutrient absorption through these vasodilation and the inotropic effect they produce. They increase the absorption of various nutrients, and also they have these mechanisms contribute to even some of these their effects contribute to the cardiovascular protection when they are used therapeutically. These agents have also been shown in large studies like the cardiovascular outcome trials, well-designed cardiovascular outcome trials, and renal outcome trials, which are now becoming very popular. They have been studied in both these type of trials, and they've shown to reduce major adverse cardiovascular events, and also they also reduce the major adverse kidney events, as we now call them as, and they therefore provide both cardiovascular and renal protection in people with diabetes. Now, if you look at the role of incretins in nutrient disposal, we are quite familiar with the role in terms of what they do in terms of the glucose absorption, I mean, glucose utilization and the insulin secretion. They increase the insulin secretion in glucose dependent fashion. They suppress the glucagon production and from the liver, and they also glucagon production from the pancreas alpha cells, and they thereby reduce the glucose hepatic glucose output. And they also have they apart from these effects, which you are very well familiar in terms of the metabolic effects, they also have effects on digestion through improvement in perfusion in the GI tract, and also they have several effects on the inflammation also by reducing the smooth muscle vascular proliferation, cell proliferation, smooth muscle cell proliferation in the vascular endothelium. They decrease the platelet activation there and also increase the adipose tissue blood flow. And thereby, they have all these effects lead to decrease in inflammation, and they also improve the perfusion in the GI tract. And what the other aspect that is seen is because of the fact that they increase insulin secretion, they also have effects on improving the capillary recruitment, increasing the nitric oxide level at various cellular compartments, and also decrease the platelet activation. So through all these effects, they have significant benefits on the digestion. They reduce the inflammation. They increase the vascular smooth muscle cell. They reduce the vascular smooth muscle cell proliferation. They reduce platelet activation, increase the adipose tissue blood flow, and thereby have a significant beneficial effects. They also stimulate, as we all know that since they stimulate the insulin release, they increase the nitric oxide levels, capillary recruitment, and reduce platelet function. And all these actions, therefore, apart from improving the glucose metabolism, have effect on the oxidation and storage of nutrients after meals. Now, if we look at their effects on what exactly happens after food intake, is that once just the sight of food also can stimulate the secretion of these incretins. The GLP-1 and GIP are the major incretins that we are speaking of today. And GLP-1, we spoke a lot about GLP-1 earlier, but we did not speak much about GIP because some of the effects were not very clearly understood, and how they. But today, with the combined analogs that we have, we speak more about both these. I mean, we speak about both of them, and we realize that GIP also has significant effects. So the GIP is secreted from the K cells, and the L cells secrete the GLP-1. And both these hormones enter the bloodstream, exert their metabolic effects. The GLP-1 suppresses, as we know, gastric emptying. In addition to stimulating insulin secretion and suppressing glucagon secretion, it also suppresses the gastric emptying and suppresses appetite. So that's one of the major effects that we see, where it has benefit in terms of reducing weight in people with diabetes, and also even people without diabetes also. GIP-1 again suppresses appetite to a lesser extent as compared to GLP-1, but it also stimulates insulin secretion, stimulates glucose, and here is the interesting part, that it stimulates glucagon secretion also. So unlike GLP-1, which reduces the glucagon secretion. So this is all shown in this diagram on the left. You can see very clearly. We see that these molecules, the incretins, have effects on the various effects that are shown there. Now, if you look at their vascular effects, what we see is that GLP-1 increases the nitric oxide production, decreases the smooth muscle cell proliferation, and decreases platelet activation and inflammation, as we've just discussed. And while GIP has variable effects on blood flow and endothelial repair. So the effects of GLP are much better understood. And if you look at these anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which we have just discussed, all of them reduce the atherosclerosis. Over a period of time, they reduce the atherosclerosis risk, and thereby, we see the effects that we see in terms of the cardiovascular outcome trials are probably because of these effects at the cellular level. Now, if you look at their effects on metabolism itself, GLP-1, apart from the effects on insulin secretion, glucagon, and all that, it increases energy expenditure and increases the fat oxidation also. GIP promotes fat storage under insulin action. And the dual agonist, if you look at the dual agonist, which has got more of GIP effect as compared to GLP effect, it increases the fat oxidation and preserves lean mass. Now, if we look at the organ-specific effects, additionally, in addition to all that we have discussed, and on the brain, these molecules tend to have an effect on increasing the brain perfusion, thereby providing some cognitive benefit and also neuroprotection. On the skeletal muscle, again, they increase the glucose uptake and have beneficial effects on the vascular system also there, increasing the microvascular recruitment. On the kidney, they increase the renal perfusion, decrease the RAS activity, and thereby provide nephroprotection. Now, on the heart, they increase the coronary flow, as we discussed about the effects on nitric oxide, improvement in nitric oxide levels. They reduce the infarct size, improve the outcomes following percutaneous interventions. In the adipose tissue, the GIP plus insulin increases the blood flow and lipid uptake and thereby reduces inflammation. So clearly, we see that these molecules have effects beyond metabolism, beyond the metabolic benefits that we are speaking of. They have effects on almost all the organ systems. In the brain, as we just discussed, there is improvement in cognitive function, neurotropic factors are actually, it has some analogous effects on the receptors for neurotropic factors, and thereby has these neurotropic benefits are seen. And probably they may protect against neurodegeneration, which is something which is very exciting, which needs to be studied further. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of studies coming out in this direction, which will give us more information on that in the coming years. Now, if you look at the GLP-1 receptor agonists and in terms of the clinical outcomes, these are based on large clinical trials that we are quite well aware of. They reduce major cardiovascular events, that is MACE events, by 13%, reduce kidney failure risk by about 16%, reduce all-cause mortality by 12%. So this becomes quite significant. And when you look at the dual GLP-1 GIP agonist, tirzepatide, it has clinical outcomes in terms of enhancing fat oxidation and metabolic control. We are awaiting the results on the trials where it has been used for cardiovascular outcome. There are several ongoing trials, and we look forward to the results from these studies. And soon we'll be hearing about these in the next coming months and years. So if you look at the clinical implications of the use of these incretin-based therapies, particularly the GLP-1 agonists, we see that they reduce the incretin effect, and this improves this leads to, and the single and dual agonism on GLP-1 and GIP receptor agonists produces considerable improvement on systemic circulation indirectly by improving the weight, glucose metabolism, but also by directly affecting the intracellular pathways. The long-term activation of both GLP-1 and GIP receptors offers considerable cardiovascular protection. This is what is anticipated, and we are looking forward to the results of a large number of trials which are ongoing with these molecules. They are dual and triple agonists also. Now we are speaking of many triple agonists also, the dual agonists, and all of them have cardiovascular outcome trials ongoing, and we are all looking forward to results from these trials. Now, incretin therapies also improve the metabolic milieu and offer as we've seen, they offer neuroprotection, they slow the cognitive decline, they improve the glucose metabolism, and they also have benefits in terms of cardiovascular adverse events and renal adverse events, and they also improve and facilitate nutrient use, reduce fat mass, and they also spare the lean body mass. But in spite of this, what we see is that with the loss of weight, there is some amount of lean mass reduction, which may be lesser than as compared to fat mass reduction. So there's a need for always for maintaining the muscle strength and improving in undertaking exercises which can improve the muscle mass. Now, the therapeutic implications, we all know, we have been using these molecules. We see that they improve the glucose metabolism while having a favorable effect on the weight, or rather a very good impact on weight reduction, and they provide cardio-renal protection. While if you look at the DPP-4 inhibitors, which which improve the GLP-1 levels in physiological range, because they are basically reducing the breakdown of the endogenous GLP. So those molecules also have several benefits. They have very good effects on the glycemic control, but they provide minimal cardio-renal benefit. They do not, I mean, they are all safe from the cardiovascular and renal outcomes, and they have minimal benefit, we could say. They do not have as much benefit as the GLP-1 therapies, which provide supraphysiological GLP-1 levels. And we have data from several trials. All of us are aware that we have these data, the results of the trials of liraglutide, semaglutide, and dulaglutide have all shown a consistent CV benefit. With SEMA and Lira, we have got the clear CV outcomes, CV benefits. Dulaglutide has been also shown to be safe. And when you look at oral semaglutide, we have data from the SOUL trial, which came out very recently, and there was a reduction in MACE events by 14% in this trial. Then we have if you look at the exendin-based GLP-1 RAs, the results have been mixed with those molecules, where we have not seen cardiovascular benefit, but we have seen that they have been cardiovascular neutral. The DPP-4 inhibitors I mean, if you look at across all the DPP-4 inhibitors, they have been proved to be safe from cardiovascular and renal outcomes, but they do not provide any great benefit. But they have always been found to be safe, and they can be used comfortably without any sort of concerns in people who have got cardiovascular disease or renal disease. Now, so what do we look forward in future? We look forward to understanding more about the role of GLP-1 alone in GIP, because we have studied a lot about GLP-1. We have got a lot of data on GLP-1, but we are looking forward to more data on GIP alone in metabolism and perfusion. We are looking forward to more data on the effect on microvascular complications of these molecules, the threshold for receptor activation for protection, and the mechanistic basis of these drugs, and the differences that come up when you're looking at different molecules, how they mechanistically differ from each other. So the take-home message that I would like to give from my presentation is that the incretins improve cardiovascular health, GLP-1 RA and GIP improve perfusion, substrate use, and protect organs. And GLP-1 RAs are the cornerstones in modern diabetes and obesity care. They are going to be more frequently used with the availability of more and more molecules coming up, and some of them are going off patent, and we have got several options available today, available in the near future, and that's going to be making the use of these GLP-1 RAs more frequent in our patients. Dual agonists show promising added benefits, and the future is towards studying more about these incretin effects on microvascular systems, and also how we can make our therapy more precision, more precise in terms of choosing the best agent for the best in a particular patient, and provide the sort of maximum benefit in terms of or in terms of metabolic, cardiovascular, and other organ protection. So with that, I'll conclude. Thank you all. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation on the incretin and GLP-1, sir, from your side. I think I'm just quickly going first the questions for the topic which you have been taken up, sir.
Yeah.
The first question came from Dr. Sunil Jain. So it is, how do you approach therapy selection between GLP-1 and SGLT2 inhibitors in the patients who are having diabetes with comorbidities like cardiovascular disease?
Yeah, so I think it was very clear from the data that we have is with the GLP-1 analogs, we have significant cardiovascular benefit, and these are the molecules that need to be preferred. And today, if you look at all the guidelines across the world, we say that we need to first triage our patients with diabetes to decide whether they have got cardiovascular disease or not. If they have cardiovascular disease, then we should prefer these agents over other agents because they provide that benefit. And also, we are looking at the renal outcomes because from the data from the FLOW trial that has recently come up, and we are saying that we need to look at using these molecules for cardiovascular and renal protection, and looking at our other molecules after we have used these molecules.
Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying on that, sir. I just take one more question here for the topic which you have mentioned. There is question from Nagpur, sir. It is, are there any concerns with long-term use of GLP-1 therapies on microvascular complications such as retinopathy and neuropathy?
Yeah, so I think there have been no significant concern in terms of neuropathy, but with retinopathy, there have been some concerns. These concerns, are being addressed by looking at long-term use, and real-world studies are being looked at, and also there are some studies which have been specifically designed to look at these problems. Particularly, the aggravation of retinopathy has been seen more at the time of initiation of these therapies, because there is probably a significant glycemic benefit seen, glycemic improvement seen, and that could be contributing towards increasing the retinopathy to some extent. The other concern that has come up is about the anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, which is something which is not very clearly understood, because there has been no significant sort of concern about this from the large clinical trials, but there have been some studies which have been done mainly in patients who have who have been attending eye clinics who have used these molecules. So we need to really understand the effect. We are looking at more data on this, and that's what I would like to say. So certainly this is an area which we are looking at in terms of the long-term effects of these molecules on the microvascular complications. And as of now, there are no signals to suggest that there is any concern.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Clarifying. I just take one last is from Dr. Rahul from Pune. He talks about any evidences supporting the use of incretin therapy in a patient with heart failure and having a preserved ejection fraction.
Yeah, so heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, we have some very recent data which has come out showing that they have a beneficial effect in these situations. With heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, probably we have to be careful with the use of these molecules. But certainly with the preserved ejection fraction, there is data suggesting improvement in the outcomes with the use of these molecules.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. From a Lloyd Healthcare, we want to just say one question to you, sir. How do you see semaglutide getting patent off and its uses in obesity, sir? Any comment you want to put it on that, sir?
Yeah, so I think just as we have seen a very significant increase in the usage of SGLT2 inhibitors and the DPP4 inhibitors in the past few years after the patency of these molecules has completed. I think similarly we are going to see a significant increase in the use of GLP-1 analogs, particularly semaglutide, because semaglutide is the one which is going to go off patent in the next 6 months or 8 months. I mean the date probably you'll know better, but but I think it's going to be 6 to 8 months, after which we are going to see many more molecules coming in, and they're going to be definitely going to be more affordable than the presently available molecules. And I see a significant increase in the use of these molecules, because we are clearly witnessing the benefits of the use of these molecules in our day-to-day clinical practice, apart
Okay.
from the data that is available from the trials.
Okay, thank you. So nice of you, sir. I think Dr. Amit Gupta is not available, sir. Just can you
Yeah,
possible to take one question
I'll
of
take
this
up
topic?
this. Yeah,
One
I'll take
question
up
of
the
this topic.
question. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever is there, I'll take up. I'm ready to
Yeah,
take.
absolutely, sir. So one question came up. Is that related to? It's a once a weekly insulin. Any concerns related to the hypoglycemic event? So that's what it has been coming up.
Yeah. So interestingly, if you look at these molecules, now if you look at the development of, when we move from glargine to more longer acting second generation analogs, second generation basal analogs. See, from conventional insulins, from NPH, when we move towards glargine, which is a 24-hour acting insulin, we saw a significant drop in nocturnal hypoglycemias. And when we moved from glargine to the second generation analogs, that is degludec, we see again a significant decrease in nocturnal hypoglycemia again. Degludec or glargine U300, when you look at their use, you see that as compared to glargine, they have significantly lesser risk of nocturnal hypoglycemia. So when you're going to a longer acting insulin, probably the effect is effect on hypoglycemia is certainly going to be better. And that's what came out of the trial. If you look at this trial or even the Novo's molecule also, we find that they have low risk of nocturnal hypoglycemia. Now, only concern is that, because it's a long-acting one, how is it the effect on? Many people have this concern as to, whether the hypoglycemia will repeat after correction, because it's a longer-acting one, and if you inject it, it's going to be there in the body for 7 days. So I think that has not been shown in these studies, as we've seen these studies. Those few patients who had nocturnal hypoglycemia obviously did not continue to have hypoglycemia repeatedly, and there could be various factors attributing to that. But I think it is interesting that it is certainly going to cause higher risk of hypoglycemia. What we saw in summary was that this molecule, the long-acting insulin Efsitora, could produce the same benefits as glargine at lower doses, with lower risk of hypoglycemia, and so those are the benefits, and with one injection as compared to 7 injections of glargine. So over a year, it means so much of difference in terms of patients having 52 injections versus 365 injections of once a day insulin.
Okay, great, sir. Great. I think thank you so much. I think I will take last and then I will close it on this, sir.
Yeah,
Any
sure.
specific, as it is not available in Indian market, sir, do you see any specific indication or any contradiction with the uses of this Efsitora?
Well, I think it is not yet available anywhere, and it is going to be available in the next few months. We may see a FDA approval and EMA approval before it gets approved in other countries also. So I think it's not yet used anywhere across the world, but these are phase 3 trials which are going to be used for getting their approvals. But certainly, it is going to be very useful for patients who are, say, insulin naive and want to start off with insulin. They are hesitant to start off with insulin, and they don't want to use everyday insulin. So they'll certainly be very happy to use that. Will be a good indication for using in this long-acting insulin. And I think anywhere where you require a convenience of once a week injection, that's going to be the indication. Now, what are the challenges? I mean, what are going to be the situations where we can't use it? Probably, in people who have got some changing, metabolic state, or I mean, those who are ill or sick. There we have to be conscious, because we can't be when we give a injection for 1 week, then there could be changes in the status of the patient. So that is one scenario. In hospitalized patients, it may take some time before we have data on that. And similarly, we need more data on renal dysfunction and hepatic dysfunction, how they're going to fare. So, but in general, it's going to be widely used in all those who want the convenience of once a week injection as compared to once daily injection.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you so much for clarifying the questions of Dr. Amit Gupta, also of taking that. So nice of you. A wonderful session, wonderful update on the latest topic has been spoken here, sir. I think that is the strain which has been coming of GLP-1 and plus once weekly insulin. That's the topic has been selected under the guidance you are, and that's what we want to deliver. Such update quickly as soon as possible from the top journals to the SAPs. I think more than 2,000 SAPs has been logged in today, sir. That's what the picture has been coming up, and I think they have been upgraded on the discussion what has been come up from a KOL like you, sir. So we are going to ahead for vote of thanks, sir. I'm just handing over the session for vote of thanks to Dr. Abhijit. Abhijit, over to you.
It was absolutely wonderful dissemination of the topic by Dr. Rakesh Kumar Sahay and Dr. Amit Gupta, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for making this event a successful one. As rightly said by Mr. Our General Manager, more than 2,000 SCPs has joined this particular program, and I also want to extend my thanks to all the delegates who have made this event a memorable one. Thank you once again. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.